previews of attractions coming soon.
My name is Kyler Cooper. I live in a world of gods, monsters, and in a world of innovation. Here we have some of the most advanced technology known to man. A being we call the Anointed came here and granted some of us powers, and for others gave us pain. Where I live, we don't exactly get out much. But the truth is, that's fine. I have my friends here. I get to have complete freedom, and I get the life any girl could ever want. But this isn't a love story, and it isn't a fairy tale either. This is a nightmare. This world, while purified, is much more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. We live in fear of others, those with powers, and those who've fallen victim to the overwhelming feeling of power upon receiving them. My parents died in the event we call the Arrival, when the Anointed came and saved our universe, by killing 90% of it in its impact with the planet. I don't know why it let me live. Because I'm just an outcast, a survivor. But in this world, anything is for the taking. The year is one after impact. The remainder of life on the planet is either fighting over territorial matters or attempting to rebuild. But this is my story. This is how I reunited with those I love. How I was awakened. How I became who I am. My name is Kyler Cooper, and this is my story. Welcome to my world, my nightmare, my exodus.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love, and with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal.
Like father, like son. father, like son. Think about it.
For information on smoking and heart disease, ask your heart association.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this fine theatre. I have been called the master of suspense, but nothing is more horrifying than talking or texting in the middle of a movie. Please do not text during the movie because it makes everyone psycho. Sincerely and emphatically, Alfred Hitchcock.
Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington. We don't want John
or Dean
or Harry, let's do that big job right. Let's get in step with the guy that's hep, get in step with Ike. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington. We got to get where where we are going. Travel day and night for President. Let Adelaide go the other way. We'll all go with I. President. You like Ike, I like Ike. Everybody likes Ike for President. Hang out the banner, beat the drum. We'll take Ike to Washington. We'll take Ike to Washington.
Now is the time for all good Americans to come to the aid of their country.
Each and every year, tens of thousands of Americans are killed in unfortunate events. Car accidents. Train accidents. Industrial accidents. Natural disasters, disease, and crime. But there is one unfortunate event that is far worse of a blight on America and our way of life than any of the previous ones mentioned. That would be attacks by packs of wild dogs. Each year, thousands of Americans live in fear of these roving predators taking out hard-working Americans like you each and every day. Their numbers seem to be soaring with each successive year, with no decline in their ravenous population. That's why Americans everywhere are moving towards Wolfpack Insurance. When they attack in a team, so do we. Our talented team of certified insurance professionals are standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer the call of distress should the need arise. Don't live in fear any longer. Put those anxieties to rest and sleep well knowing that you now have a pack on your side. Wolfpack Insurance. When you want it done, join the pack.
In the Twin Cities, the winter is a time of celebration, time of togetherness, and a time for fun. Come on down to Watchpoint Sports and Toys to get the little ones in your life something to spruce up their winter season, and to get yourself something too. Sleds starting at the low price of just $10, not including tax. For the sports in your life, golf club sets, with complimentary tickets to any home game for your Minnesota Twins, now only $49.99. And of course, toys for any time of the year. Only at the entertainment store sure to bring you more. Watchpoint Sports and Toys. Open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every Monday through Saturday. Located in historic downtown St. Paul, next to Cupid's Closet.
That was Life is But a Dream by the Harptones. We now bring you the top stories around the nation at the top of the hour on TV2 and WLOL. Brought to you today by the Eden Corporation. Building a better tomorrow, today. Around 1 hour ago, we got word over the wire that there has been an attack on a forward operating base held by the United States on the border of Soviet Russia, and inside sources state that over 300 defenders of our home were killed, and that at this time the perpetrator's identity is not known. When asked for comment, the Kremlin advised that this is not of their doing, and that these murders are supposedly unrelated to the military invasion of Greece 2 weeks ago in similar circumstances. At this time, the United States government has not made an official statement on this matter. However, it is assumed that one will be coming later in the morning. In other news, the Minnesota Twins won their 10th game in a row last night, defeating the Milwaukee Braves 6-2. The second game in the series will begin tonight at 6 p.m. local time, and we will have the Twins broadcasting team here on the station to bring you the play-by-play of the game on the Voice of the Twins, TV2, Minneapolis, and WLOL. Finally, a local story sure to warm your hearts. Around 1 a.m. this morning, a massive fire rocked a suburb of Minneapolis, and while we've been told as many as 5 homes have been burned to the ground due to this, a silver lining comes from this story, as little Frankie Kazarian of Minneapolis was seen helping neighbors to ensure everyone was evacuated from their homes, and even saved a family of kittens who were reportedly born earlier this week. Frankie, if you are hearing this, splendid job, and you are a true hero. And now, enough news, let's get back to the music here at the top of the hour with the snazzy tune that has just come out. This one's called One-Eyed One-Horn Flying Purple People Eater.
Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had a one long horn and one big eye. I commenced to shaking and I said, ooh-wee, it looks like a purple people eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. A one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me. Oh, well, he came down to earth and he lit in a tree. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me. I heard him say in a voice so gruff,
I wouldn't eat you 'cause you're so tough.
it was a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, what's your line? He said, I eat purple people and it sure is fine. But that's not the reason that I came to land.
I wanna get a job in a rock and roll band.
Well, bless my soul, rock and roll, flying purple people eater. Pigeon-toed, undercoat, flying purple people eater. Friendly little people eater, what a sight to see. And then he swung from the tree and he laid on the ground. And he started to rock, oh really rocking around. It was a crazy ditty with a swinging tune.
Sing a bop, bop, a boop, a lop, a loom, bam, boom.
Well, bless my soul, rock and roll, flying purple people eater. Pigeon-toed, undercoat, flying purple people eater.
I like short shorts.
Flying purple people eater, what a sight to see. Well, he went on his way, and then what do you know? I saw him last night on a TV show. He was blowing it out, really knocking them dead, playing rock and roll music through the horn in his head.
Tequila.
What cigarette do you smoke? You'll be interested to know how the doctors of America answered that question. Tens of thousands of doctors, doctors in all parts of the country, in every state of the Union, doctors in every branch of medicine were asked,
What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?
in this nationwide survey of general practitioners, surgeons, throat specialists, diagnosticians, and so on, the brand named most was Camel.
Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Try Camels yourself. Make the one sensible cigarette test. Make your own 30-day Camel mildness test in your T-zone. Smoke only Camels for 30 days. Enjoy Camel's rich, full flavor. And see how well Camels agree with your throat. Pack after pack, week after week. See for yourself why Camels are so popular with the doctors of America.
Busy you, in and out of doors every day. Think how much dust and dirt settle on your skin. And makeup clings to your skin, too, and clogs pores. That's why your face needs a thorough cleansing each day. And that's why cleansing tests were made by an independent testing laboratory. This same kind of dirt was made just radioactive enough to register on a Geiger counter. Leading cleansing creams, complexion soaps, and Dorothy Gray Salon Cold Cream were used to remove this dirt. The Geiger counter proved that Dorothy Gray Salon Cold Cream cleanses up to 2.5 times more thoroughly than any soap or other cleansing cream tested. When you cleanse with Dorothy Gray Salon Cold Cream, you know you remove dirt. And more important, you remove every trace of makeup which can clog your pores. That's why Salon Cold Cream is especially recommended for a young complexion. A clean skin is a healthy skin, and your skin will look smoother and clearer when you use Dorothy Gray Salon Cold Cream. It's so quick and easy, too. Takes no more time than improper cleansing. For particulars of this Geiger counter story, write for this test booklet to Dorothy Gray Limited, Box 18, Grand Central Station, New York City.
This is WLOL in TV2 in the Twin Cities. At this time, we interrupt your morning selection of music for an urgent news bulletin. Now, live from the TV2 newsroom is Jammin' Jerry Hill.
We interrupt this program once again for a TV2 news bulletin. We have just received word that a series of explosions have rocked the nation's capital. At this time, we've received word from both our military spokesperson and news outlets in the area who have corroborated this claim, and it is feared that these explosions may be related to Soviet aggression. However, that is not confirmed at this time. At this time, we have no word as to the extent of the damage that these explosions have incurred, nor word on injuries or fatalities. The details we currently have are sketchy, to put it nicely, and confirmation is extremely difficult at this time, as various news agencies such as the Associated Press, Reuters, and others have been unable to make contact with correspondents in the Washington, D.C. area. Repeating, we have received word of a series of explosions rocking the nation's capital, and again, we do not have any word as to the damage or any reports on injuries or casualties as of yet, but we will update you when we receive further information. This is TV2 in Minneapolis, and we now return you to this morning's music programming block with a new tune called Since I Don't Know You by the Skyliners.
Official.
Here is a special and urgent message for you. This is Jerry Hill, your official civil defense announcer. Civil defense authorities have determined that it is advisable for all persons to leave the city. Your safety and perhaps your life depends on remaining calm and following these instructions. Do not attempt to cross town. Leave the city immediately on the shortest route. Absent members of the family will rejoin the family once you have left the city. Federal authorities have indicated that an enemy air attack is probable. We are not certain that it will definitely come here, but there is a chance that we will be attacked. Follow these instructions. Put together your emergency supply of food, clothing, bottled water, medicines, and first aid supplies in your car. Load all members of the family that are at home now into the car and leave the area. Don't try to telephone anyone. Drive on the shortest possible route to get outside of the city. Travel at least, I repeat, at least 50 miles from the city. Do not attempt to cross town or drive across roads being used by others as they leave town. Follow civil defense signs and road directions. Your car radio should be tuned to 640 or 1240 for official instructions. Remain calm and give everyone else the same chance you would want for yourself to leave town. We can all get to safe areas if we act calmly. If your car is disabled on the highway or cannot be repaired immediately, Push it to the side of the road and ride with someone else. By the same token, if your car is not full, pick up people walking along the side of the road or street. Obey civil defense police and wardens. Stay in traffic lanes and stay in your place. If you try to pass others, you will only cause traffic jams. Do not try to cross evacuation routes. Avoid main bridges if possible. If you have a place of refuge far enough away from the city, go there and remain until we have given you further information that will permit your return. If you do not have a place prepared for yourself, drive at least 50 miles from the target area. Civil defense will instruct you from there. Cooperate with civil defense workers and they will help you. Do not listen to rumors, and above all, keep calm. Your life depends on it. Keep tuned to this station for further information and tell your neighbors to tune in also. This is your official civil defense announcer, Jerry Hill, with this Conelrad message. We are being advised to inform citizens in the Minneapolis area that evacuations should begin to take place immediately. I repeat, citizens of the Minneapolis area are to evacuate now. We have received confirmation from the Minneapolis Civil Defense Agency that this message is valid. I repeat, this is a valid message. This is Jim and Jerry Hill, and we will be suspending all normal programming until the situation has ended and we are given an all clear by the civil authorities. I'm now being told that, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been given word that the Soviet Union has mobilized in Europe and that Soviet troops have been spotted in London opening fire, in Paris destroying property, and have stated that this is but the beginning. The President of the United States is reportedly unable to be reached at this time, and that a representative of the United States Office of Foreign Affairs has stated that connections with representatives in England, France, and Ukraine have been difficult at best and impossible at least. In addition, the Department of Defense has stated that should the Soviets continue to invade, and in some cases wipe out further Allied cities and countries, that the United States will have no choice but to retaliate. And I've just been told that some of our sources in Paris have stated that the Soviets have detonated high-yield explosives in the city and that the Arc de Triomphe has been destroyed at this time. We are now going live to a press conference currently taking place at the state capitol. We send you now to our reporter on the scene, Yokana Narugi. Yokana, what can you tell me about the environment near the capitol right now?
It's quite troubling, Jerry. When we arrived here in the capital this morning to cover the historic announcement of a verdict in the case of serial killer Jacob Holmes, we were met with enraged social advocates and families of the 17 women who are no longer with us due to this monster's killing spree, which lasted from 1943 to 1954. Within 5 minutes of the session beginning, the court has now sentenced one serial killer to the first case of a death penalty verdict being issued in the state in what seems like forever. The focus turned away from Holmes and onto the serial killer who murdered upwards of 300 United States military personnel on the border of Soviet Russia in the wee hours of the evening last night. After this was announced to the public around 15 minutes ago, the capital has changed drastically in how people are conducting themselves.
Yokana, can you tell me if there has been any statements made from the governor or even Minneapolis Mayor Herbert Humphrey on the acts of aggression on the Soviet border?
There have been few statements made to the press about the matter at this time, Jerry, but I did manage to speak briefly with the always gleeful Mayor Hubert Humphrey, and this was the first time in my life that I've seen this normally charismatic and energetic soul in a depressed and horrified mood. He stated that he is concerned not just for the impact the actions of the Soviets may incur on the world, but even more so, what impact the actions may play in the city of Minneapolis as a whole. He fears, as do many governmental officials in this country, that these brutal killings may lead to a global conflict, and with World War II being the war to end all wars, the mayor fears World War III may be the war to end all life. I also, upon informing Mr. Humphrey of the declaration of war Washington has just made, The mayor has stated that he is advising all citizens in the Minneapolis area who are either choosing not to evacuate or believing this is a hoax to, and I quote, "save yourselves while you still can." He's also given me word that the governor may be preparing to place the entirety of Minnesota under an evacuation order, should he receive further evidence of attacks being planned against our wonderful state. This is Yokana Nurugi, TV2 News.
Thank you, Yokana. Make sure to keep us updated. Once again, this is Jim and Jerry Hill, and we are currently in emergency programming due to the declaration of World War III being made mere moments ago. And with that, we are now going to bring you the latest news on this situation, as we have just received an update on the status of both the President and of the European invasion, which is currently in progress on the behalf of the Soviet Union. Reports have now been sent over on the wire that state that the Kremlin has begun to make broadcasts over Soviet radio and television stations advising citizens to begin to prepare for a global conflict in which they, and I quote, will obliterate all who stand in their way. This comes as the State Department reports to news agencies that the President of the United States is currently unable to speak at this time, and from the sound of it, the President is anything but all right. In addition, it has just been confirmed that England, France, Canada, Mexico, China, Japan, and Australia have all declared war on the Soviet Union as well, as it is feared that if action is not taken, the world, and especially the now occupied locations of England and France, may be destroyed under the iron fist of the Soviet regime. This comes after the State Department, on behalf of the President, has declared war on the Soviet Union as well, calling the actions of the Soviet Union the lowest human beings can be, and comparing the Soviet Union to Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany, which is still recovering after breaking the grips of Hitler following the conclusion of World War II. Political analysts have also given us word that it is expected that Germany will be siding with the United States and the other countries now at war with the Soviet Union, which I feel is something which can be a stepping stone towards the redemption of Germany after the atrocities which occurred by their hands in World War II. We will now go live to Jacob Willits, who is inside of the Pentagon, following a briefing the Vice President just held there. Jacob, what did you gather from the Vice President's words?
I gathered a sense of pure dread and pure fear, Jerry. The Vice President was rushed into the Pentagon briefing room around 15 minutes ago on short notice to announce the United States declaration of war against the Soviet Union, which was only picked up by news outlets a few minutes ago. And this is most likely due to the amount of congestion over telephone lines, with statements from telephone companies advising citizens that, in some cases, phone lines are currently not operational due to the overloading of telephone lines due to the massive rise in panic and emergency calls since the detonations in Washington almost 20 minutes ago. I have to tell you, Jerry, I have never seen the government this disoriented. It seems that they are running on fumes. This is most likely due to the loss of contact with the President of the United States, which has left not just the Vice President and the government concerned, but has begun to start rumors on the whereabouts of the President at this time, with guesses ranging from a resort in Maui to even a meeting with the Soviet government. However, the latter is especially outrageous due to the now ongoing conflict with the Soviets, which is unlikely to end anytime soon. This is Jacob Willits from the Pentagon. Back to you, Jerry.
All right, thank you, Jacob. We certainly hope that the Vice President will say more in the coming minutes and hour on this historic series of events. I'm now being told that we have a caller on the phone who was reportedly near the nation's capital this morning when the series of explosions was in progress. Hello, Washington, you are on the phone.
Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, Washington, you are on the air. So let's start off with a simple question. What can you tell us about the damage the series of explosions may have caused in the capital?
Well, Jerry, it's anything but minimal. When I was going to work this morning, on the way to the office, I saw the explosions in my mirror, and I immediately knew that this was a nuclear attack.
Washington, I don't think I heard you correctly. Did you just say you believe you saw a nuclear explosion in the nation's capital?
It had to have been. My kids didn't even get to school this morning before it all happened. Thankfully, we all got away from the area relatively quickly and unharmed, but I believe that the Capitol may be destroyed. When we looked back around 10 minutes ago, we'd already gotten over 50 miles outside the Capitol, but we could still see the smoke and the flames from the Capitol. There must be a mass casualty situation near the capital.
My God. Washington, thank God your family got away safely. On that note, who do you think could be responsible for these series of what seem to be nuclear attacks on the capital?
There's no doubt about it, Jerry. It was the Soviets.
Washington, at the risk of sounding inconsiderate after everything you've been through so far today, how can you be so confident it was the Soviets and not some other group? Have you considered it could have been some form of racially motivated attack, a domestic terrorist cell? Please explain how you are so confident it was the Soviets.
Well, Jerry, for one, these were quality explosions. I mean, there's no way any racially motivated group or a domestic terrorist cell could have gained access to the high-yield explosives that must have been used in these attacks. And these weren't explosions from any ground source.
A ground source?
By ground source, I'm referring to a mobile or non-missile-based explosive, and these explosions came from what looked like Russian missiles. That's for sure. I must go, Jerry. Hopefully I was of help.
Thank you. For those of you just tuning in, this is Jerry Hill, TV2 News, Minneapolis. The Soviet Union is now at war with the United States, and in addition, Washington, D.C. has been attacked with what reportedly could be defined and identified as low-yield nuclear weapons. And at this time, it does appear that we have a break in the spiraling series of events which has begun to plague our homeland. We are going to take a quick break with some music while we attempt to receive additional news and information. We will now transition to a track by the Ronettes. This one is called Earth Angel. We will interrupt programming as soon as we have further information for you. Again, this is TV2, and we will be back shortly.
Want to be the newest fashion model in your school? Want to make a fashion statement? Want to make things even more interesting in your relationship? Well, Cupid can help you out. Come on down to Cupid's Closet, the Twin Cities one-stop shop for clothing, shoes, and fashionita outfits for the temptress in your life. Shoes starting at only $4. Winter coats at the low, low price of $10. And for the kids, get them the shirt that'll make their classmates envy their fashion sense. So come on down to Cupid's Closet. And remember, don't be stupid. Get your shoes from Cupid. Located in History downtown St. Paul next to the Watchpoint Sports and Toys. Open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, excluding Labor Day weekend and Christmas. See our ad in the Twin Cities Tribune. America is a country that in the year 1776 was erected upon the ideals of immigrants. Immigrants who wanted true freedom from their oppressors in the form of the British. Now at the Minneapolis Museum of American History and in the St. Paul Civic Center, you can relive the founding of our country, presenting The Day We Arrived, a play bringing you the story of America in 3 action-packed acts. Performances at 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. each day this month, excluding Sundays and Labor Day weekend. Children get in free, adult tickets start at $3. Citizens over the age of 60 get tickets at the reduced price of $1. See box office for details.
All right, folks, we have just received another bulletin from the United States government saying that there may be an imminent threat to the safety of major population centers in this country, including the Twin Cities.
Official.
Ladies and gentlemen, in compliance with security and civil defense measures set forth by the United States government, we are now activating the Colorado Emergency Alert System. This is an official Colorado Emergency Alert. This is not a test. In a few moments, normal broadcasting on this station will cease for an indefinite period. If you are at home viewing this alert, we urge you to remain in your home, and if it can be helped at all, do not venture outdoors. If you are out and about, or in the process of evacuating per the earlier Colorado Bulletin, it is advisable that you should seek shelter, whatever shelter you can ascertain at this time, and keep a working portable radio nearby at all times to stay informed of any further developments. Civil defense information will be broadcasted in 30-minute intervals in most areas, and in specific locations, the 10-minute intervals if the emergency pertains to those specific locations, or those specific locations are currently being attacked. These updates will be broadcast via 640 kHz and 1240 kHz on the regular AM radio dial. Stations, either television or radio, are also being asked to comply with the Federal Communications Commission's Emergency Broadcasting Protocol, ensuring that if your station continues broadcasting during this emergency, that all broadcasting will be news and information, as well as updated civil defense information during the civil defense emergency period. Your station either does not have the appropriate accommodations to transition to a news station, or, if you do not wish to function as a news station, your station should be prepared to cease all auditory and visual transmission over broadcasting airwaves at once, to allow for vital information to be provided to the public at all times. All residents in the Twin Cities area should now turn to 640 kHz on the AM band. If you are in the Milwaukee area and are currently listening to this message, tune to 1240 kHz on the AM band, as suspended programming from stations in the Twin Cities area will no longer provide vital information for your local area. We now bring you an urgent message from this station.
This is Jem and Jerry Hill, and we are going to remain on the air during this period to provide the Twin Cities area with news and information on this civilian safety event, and will also provide up-to-date civilian defense information in 30-minute intervals, or sooner should the situation warrant. This is Jem and Jerry Hill, and we now return you for the remainder of the emergency message to the Conelrad Emergency Broadcasting System.
Again, as you have just heard, in the Twin Cities area, WLOL and TV2 have been designated as official news and Colorado outlets and will remain on the air during this emergency. Finally, all other stations in the Twin Cities area have now agreed to simulcast TV2 and WLOL's broadcasts to bring all citizens still in the Twin Cities area urgent information and to protect the public from imminent situations involving civil unrest.
voice you will hear is the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is with a very heavy heart that I come before you today to inform you that this country has fallen under a nuclear attack. For reasons of national and personal security, I cannot reveal my whereabouts at this time. However, I also must inform the American public of an even more disastrous attack that has taken place today. It is with great regret that I inform the American public that as of 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, the President Eisenhower has died due to the nuclear attack that took place on Washington. I, Eric J. Matthews, previously the Vice President of the United States, will now hold the office of President Eisenhower. Before I continue, I would like to state that these attacks, which took not only a good president, but a great friend's life today, were perpetrated by the Soviet Union. For this reason, and for the dignity of this country, the United States, as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, the United States is now at war with the Soviet Union. For this reason, I must inform the American public of urgent information. As we are now at war with a force whose power threatens democracy everywhere, we are activating the draft. And at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, all citizens of the United States over the age of 18 who are of the male gender and are medically able should report to your nearest military station or outpost and enter into the draft. While this is a regrettable decision, it is one that we must make so that the Soviets hear our message that while nuclear attacks and other forms of violence against our homeland may hurt us, that democracy will not and cannot be defeated. May God have mercy on us all. We now return to your regular programming.
The voice you just heard was the voice of the President of the United States. We now return you to Jammin' Jerry Hill with emergency information for the Twin Cities area.
This is Jerry Hill, your official civil defense announcer with a special message. This station has interrupted regularly scheduled programming at the request of the United States government to participate in the Conelrad Emergency Broadcasting System. This is the Conelrad Emergency Broadcasting System serving the Twin Cities area. During this period, many stations will remain on the air, broadcasting news and official information for areas assigned to them. If you are not located in the Twin Cities area, you should now tune your radio to other radio stations until you hear one which is broadcasting news and information for your area. You are listening to the Conelrad Emergency Broadcasting System serving the Twin Cities area. We are now back in the studio and awaiting further information on this attack. However, what we can discern at this time is that this is not, I repeat, this is not a hoax. This message has been given to inform the public of situations involving civil danger. At this time, the United States government has officially declared war on the Soviet Union, and at this time, it is believed that air and ground attacks may impact the Minneapolis area at any time. If you are currently evacuating the city, continue with the evacuation. If you are not currently evacuating, do not evacuate. You will cause evacuations to be hampered, and you may cause the death of your fellow man. If you are evacuated at least 50 miles or more from the Minneapolis area, seek a fallout or bomb shelter at this time, as it is unknown where, when, and how this developing global conflict will impact the greater Midwest of the United States. This is your official civil defense announcer, Jammin' Jerry Hill, and we will be staying on the air with you to ensure that you are kept up to date on the ongoing situation involving the Third World War. We have just received a message from the Department of Defense stating that communication with New York has been lost. I repeat, communication with New York has been lost. However, we do have exclusive audio leading up to the final auditory transmission's conclusion from our New York correspondent, Jenny Blank. This message may be disturbing to some viewers, so parents, you may not want children hearing this next part, but we will now air this message.
Today, I stand on the Brooklyn Bridge while we await the official ribbon-cutting ceremony that will be the symbol of a new beginning for New York and for this region of the country. As for those who do not remember, 2 years ago, The Brooklyn Bridge was critically damaged by a Japanese attack on the city, which took the lives of 10,000 American citizens. We now see the mayor walking to cut the ribbon. And ladies and gentlemen, the mayor is...
We've been told that as many as 100 people, including the mayor of New York City, lie dead this morning after Soviet paratroopers supposedly rained down from the skies. And at this time, reports are consistent with a chance of the Soviets taking control of New York City and that future killings will take place. We now return you once again to Yokana Narugi, who has now moved to a secure location in the state's capital, and it sounds as if she has some urgent news for us. Yokana, what is the situation in the capital at this time?
Jerry, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it appears that the governor has ordered the state under a lockdown.
Yokana, what do you mean by the statement, a lockdown?
Jerry, the governor, who is beside me right now in an undisclosed location in the city, would like to make a statement to you at this time. Mr. Governor, you have the floor.
Yes. Hello, Jerry. I, in most situations, would issue an official press briefing, but seeing how the situation is evolving here in the capital and across the globe, this is the best I can do at this time. For my safety, and the safety of Mrs. Narugi here, I cannot disclose our location at this time. However, I can tell the Minnesotans hearing my voice right now, the state is no longer safe. Around 5 minutes ago, we received a communication from the State Department warning us that it appeared as if an attack on the Capitol and on several other state capitals across the country was imminent. Moments after we reached our current undisclosed location, we began to hear screams. Gunfire. Mothers begging for mercy to unidentified assailants that were shown to be to no avail. I have been told by a spokesman from the Minnesota National Guard that as many as 500 Soviet paratroopers have seemingly come out of thin air and are now sweeping the capital, killing anyone in their sights, and it is expected that Minneapolis and St. Paul are going to be attacked in the same form. For this reason, I must say, as a father of three, I pray my family makes it through this. And if you're hearing this, Matthew, please, hold the mommy for me. Daddy will be home soon. And as a governor, I must say that the borders are being sealed until further notice, and that martial law is now in effect. For those who are not evacuated, do not attempt to evacuate now, as you put your life at risk. If you are able to, seek armed protection. Do not let your family, friends, and loved ones to perish. Jerry, I hope that you there at the station will be able to later prove me wrong and announce that Soviet troops have been pushed out of the state. However, that seems unlikely at this hour. I now send it back to Yokana.
As the governor just said, Jerry, the capital is currently under siege by Soviet paratroopers.
My God, Yokana, how are you holding up personally? You must be terrified. I'm sorry you have to go through this.
That I am, Jerry, and I really value the fact that you genuinely care for me. It means a lot, boss. But back to the point. In my 10 years in journalism for WLOL and TV2, never have I experienced armed conflict on the front lines. All I've heard so far are sounds no human being should ever have to hear. Children are begging for mercy from Soviet paratroopers who show no remorse when they kill them. No remorse, even as they wipe out the future of our great city and country. Mothers are begging to be spared, even offering unthinkable favors in exchange for their own lives. I'm just happy that I managed to make it into the safe house we are at right now. Jerry, it seems that there is a situation in here. I now go to General Sanders, who is inside of the Minnesota National Guard headquarters here in the base. General Sanders, what can you tell the people of our great state about the Soviet threat to life and property?
Well, Yokana, I want to first say this. This country is at war. For the first time since Pearl Harbor, cities directly in all 50 states are in a state of national moratorium. Military reserves are being ordered to depart and to prepare for mobilization. In my 20 years of being in the Minnesota National Guard, never had I thought we would face a threat directly in our state. That's all I can say at this time.
Thank you, General. We would like to advise all citizens receiving this message that we have received confirmation from the Governor himself moments ago that the state is currently under siege. We are now going to take a short break as we are currently awaiting an incoming announcement from the State Department. This is Jerry Hill at the helm.
Attention. You love your country? You want to defend your homeland from threats of all kinds? If you answered yes, the United States Army is for you. The United States Army is America's first line of defense against all sorts of threats, and soldiers who serve this country are eligible for free college or for other beneficial perks. And all you have to do is stand up for your nation. Come to your nearest recruiting office to join the line of defense today.
Must be 18 years or older to register for military service or deployment.
All right, we are back now, and we have received a message from the State Department. The State Department is advising all citizens in the Minneapolis area to follow these instructions. Please barricade yourself inside of your home or current location. Do not hesitate, as the State Department will be bombing cities currently under siege by Soviet troops and the hopes of deterring further invasions. Gather all blankets, pillows, or anything usable to brace yourself from possible debris. Citizens should treat this as a tornado emergency. Shield yourself from the outside world and shelter in the most central room or in a basement in your current location. If you are outdoors, seek a sturdy building or storm shelter at once. Once again, the State Department will be bombing the area to attempt to push back Soviet troops who are currently invading the state. We now go back to Jacob Willits, who is once again live from the Pentagon, and he is informing us that he has urgent information on the situation overseas. Jacob, what can you tell the American people?
Well, Jerry, as you know, the Pentagon is near Washington, D.C., which has left all of us here forced to remain indoors, as we've been informed that fallout is in the process of spreading from Washington and is currently outside of the Pentagon. We can thankfully still transmit to you, but to put it lightly, the newly sworn-in Vice President is quite anxious, and from what I can gather, within the last 5 minutes, there's been a large amount of movement by military representatives inside of the facility. Apologies, Jerry, but it appears as if something's occurring here within the Pentagon. It seems as if... Oh my God. Oh my God.
Jacob, please, what is going on at the Pentagon? Stay calm, we are still here.
Jerry, it appears as if the military personnel here inside of the Pentagon have begun to disperse in front of the press room doors, and they have moved some of us into an elevator here in the facility and are in the process of moving us underground at this time. All I can tell you is that from the small period of time I was able to see the door here moving.
Moving? What do you mean the door was moving? You just said moments ago that there is fallout outside of the Pentagon. How could anyone have gotten inside and made it as far as the press room doors?
Jerry, from what I could hear, military personnel were shouting the phrase, "It is here, the final hour. Move everyone into the bunker." Immediately after that, we saw shotguns and automatic rifles being given to the military personnel, and I fear that...
Well, it appears that there is a situation going on at this time inside of the Pentagon, and that we have lost connection with Jacob Willits. We will attempt to reestablish contact as soon as possible, but at this time, I'm being told that there is another message inbound from the Conelrad emergency system, and we will now play this specified tape. Please stand by.
We interrupt our current program to cooperate in federal and civil defense measures as requested by the United States government. This is a Conelrad radio report. I repeat, this is a Conelrad radio report. This is your Civil Defense Coordinator, Jason Sears. This area has been placed under Air Defense Warning Red. You are urged to seek shelter now. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. You are urged to seek shelter now. Proceed, if conditions warrant, outdoors and in an orderly fashion to the nearest underground shelter, whether it be a cave or civil defense shelter. If conditions do not warrant proceeding to external shelters which are in a separate venue than the one you are currently occupying, seek the lowest floor in your dwelling or venue, such as a storm cellar, bunker, or underground basement. If possible, take with you a battery or crank-powered radio. Stay tuned to this frequency. We repeat, if conditions warrant, in a calm and orderly manner, seek the nearest underground cellar, cave, or civil defense shelter.
If this is not a feasible option for you at this time, seek the lowest location in your current building or dwelling. All right, you have heard from Mr. Sears. The United States government has advised us that all citizens should now proceed to the lowest floor of their homes if needed, or, if possible, seek a cave or civil defense shelter. We now pause for station identification and for a short break while we relocate ourselves into the station's fallout shelter. We will be back in just a moment.
This is TV2 in the Twin Cities, also broadcasting on 99.5 on the FM dial via WLOL in Minneapolis. We are currently facing an imminent threat and are in the process of relocating to a more secure location at the station. Normal programming will resume shortly.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love, and with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
I don't want to set the world on fire, honey. I love you too much. I just want to start a great big flame down in your heart. You see, way down inside of me, darling, I have only one desire. And that one desire is you. And I know nobody else ain't gonna do. I've lost all ambition for worldly.
We're back, and thank you for sticking with us, folks. At this time, we would like to apologize to the Federal Communications Commission as we have been having trouble connecting to the Conrad Master frequency. We have also received calls from across the state as far away as Milwaukee, reporting that they have lost the ability to hear 640 and 1240 frequencies, which in defense of the Civil Defense Administration has never had to activate these systems in their history. We also now have a reporter from our sister station in Los Angeles, TV24, who is going to be bringing us an update on the state of Los Angeles following the declaration of war. We now cut live to the news feed from TV24 and KCUN in Los Angeles. The voice you will hear next will be that of Mr. Adam Schiff.
Good morning to you all here in Los Angeles, and we come to you now with a disturbing report from San Francisco. Moments ago, my producer here at the studio informed me that, and I quote, the city of San Francisco has been destroyed. I repeat, the city of San Francisco has been destroyed. Preliminary reports state that within moments, residents reported a bright, blinding light, and this was seen from as far away as Houston, Texas, and the explosion's sound was heard as far away as Melbourne, Australia. At this time, the Soviets, while not claiming responsibility for this blatant crime against humanity, are suspected to be the culprits. We now cut to some eyewitness reports recorded moments ago by citizens who reportedly saw the explosion.
I'm certain that the Soviets are behind this atrocious act. And I hope that we are able to show them, even when we are on the brink of decimation, we will not and cannot be defeated. We are America, and this is to the Kremlin. The American people will not let you enter their homes and kill their children. We will not let you occupy these streets and become our overlords. We will bring you a war, and if you want one, you've got it, you sons of bitches.
That message was transmitted from TV 24 in Los Angeles just moments ago. We now have received a message from the Department of Defense. They have investigated the San Francisco area, and at this time there is no indication that a nuclear or neutronic explosion has taken place in that location. They are truly confounded as to what could have been the catalyst for the obliteration of one of America's most treasured cities. They have also indicated that there has been no signs of radiation or fallout, which we believe is an enigma, which we have not been able to yet wrap our minds around. We have also received reports of similar events taking place in the cities of Tokyo, Shanghai, Montreal, Melbourne, and others. We now go live once again to Yokana Narugi, who we are told has some vital information for us to hear. Yokana, what can you tell us that we don't know already?
Jerry, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but it appears as if the gunfire has fully ceased here in the state's capital, and we are now going to slowly exit our location. Jerry, it appears that something major has occurred here in the capital. It is mesmerizing, but we have now exited the shelter, and it appears that there is some sort of winter wonderland going on here.
Yokana, could you repeat that? Did you just say that the capital has turned into a winter wonderland here just days away from Labor Day?
Yes, Jerry. I do not know what is going on, but I feel as if this situation is not one of natural nature. I have a feeling something never seen is going on here. My God, Jerry. I wish we had cameras here to show you this, but I cannot believe this. I am currently walking outside of the Capitol building, and on the grounds all around us, I am seeing what appears to be human intestines and other remnants of human beings. There is nothing here, Jerry.
What do you mean there is nothing there? Could you please elaborate?
Jerry, I mean there is nobody here. It's as if the capital is a ghost town. There are no signs of life whatsoever. All that is here is blood, guts, and Russian weapons.
Russian weapons? Do you mean to say that the Russians have been killed?
Yes, Jerry. I believe that is the case in this situation. Something extremely wrong has happened here. No human being could have done this. Wait, Jerry, I think I can hear something. Can you...
Yokana? Yokana, please respond. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, if what we heard is to be believed, it appears that there is much more of a dire situation going on in the state, and that the Russians may not be what we should truly see as the adversaries of our democracy here today. I'm also being handed a message from the Chinese government. In a joint communique between themselves and the Japanese government, translated, it states that there has been a massive explosion of unheard magnitude in the Soviet Union, and that, if this report is to be believed, mind you, an explosion 50 times the power of those seen at Hiroshima have occurred across the Soviet Union. At this time, they have stated that they are on their way over there to the Soviet Union and will be attempting to identify if there are any survivors and if there is any word on who in fact could have been responsible for these actions. They also state that a massive amount of radiation has been reported to them from transmissions intercepted from the Soviet Union. They also state that they transmitted on the last transmission they intercepted before those detonations occurred, that alerted all Soviet citizens to, and I quote, prepare for Baba Yaga. If I remember correctly, Baba Yaga is a demonic being of some sort in Russian folklore. If these messages are to be believed, ladies and gentlemen, we may be dealing with something much more dire than a war. We may be dealing with a new threat. I have a feeling that these things
Ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you hear will be that of the President of the United States.
My fellow Americans, it is with great pride that I announce to you that at this time the Soviet Union has ceased attacks on the United States. We do not know why or what caused the retreat of the Soviet forces from the United States, but at this time the threat has effectively concluded. While we still are at war with the Soviet Union, there has been no reports of any transmissions, broadcasts, or activity inside of the Soviet Union, and for this reason, we are going to be lifting the Conelrad emergency system at this time. However, this situation may redevelop, and so please stay tuned to news stations for further information in case of recurring enemy attacks.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the President of the United States. Currently, we conclude operations in the Conelrad emergency system. All citizens are now able to leave shelter as the danger to the public has ended for the present moment. However, please stay alert as enemy attacks may redevelop. We now resume normal broadcasting on TV2 Twin Cities.
Well, in a moment of pure joy, I announce to you all that the message you just heard was valid. I repeat, the message you just heard is valid. The danger is over. However, I advise you to stay on this station. Before we come up here on the 9 o'clock music block, I'd just like to put something into perspective for you all. The world has always had consistent conflict when it comes to worldwide military engagements in the past, and today, after the declaration of World War III, within the hour it was announced, we have reached seemingly the end of the conflict. Mind you, World War II was a conflict that went on for several years, and World War III, if what we've now been told is to be believed, is something I would in comparison compared to a war ended in 10 minutes. I personally feel as if something is seriously wrong, especially if the report from the Japanese and Chinese joint bulletin is to be believed. We now, with the station seemingly ended for a short time here, return you to the music block at the top of the hour. We'll also have the news from around the world at 9:05 a.m., which is approximately 10 minutes from now. We now bring you another brand new tune. This one is called Let's Have a Party by Wanda Jackson.
Some people like to rock, some people like to roll, but moving and a grooving's gonna satisfy my soul. Let's have a party. Woo, let's have a party. The rain is sending to the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. I
Today, we bring you the thrilling hunt. You are hearing the noises of a deadly predator on the prowl. It approaches its prey.
Hey, can you pass me one too? I want to see what all the fuss is about.
Every day, the deadliest predator in America latches onto the lips of our youth.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but your son has lung cancer. There's not much we can do except tell you to hold him tight. You might not have much time left. I'm sorry.
Protect the little ones in your life. Vote yes on Proposition 2018-36B, and you can eliminate humanity's biggest predator, once and for all.
Paid for by Senator Eric Matthews and parents everywhere. Smoking kills. Vote yes on Proposition 2018-36B.
Do you have any amount of money? Want to earn some more cash? Then come on down to the Eating Corporation. The Eating Corporation is the world's biggest and now certified best employer, and we are now hiring in the Twin Cities area. The Eating Corporation knows that some of you hearing this message may be thinking, but I don't have anyone to take care of the kids. I can't get a job. Wrong. At the Eating Corporation, we offer free daycare for any children under the age of 13, and even provide live entertainment daily. Every week, Eddie the Eating Clown comes to have a good laugh with the kids. Free food and drink every day at each meal for anyone who needs it. The Eating Corporation offers the best pay in this side of the galaxy with starting wages of $10.99 an hour. So come and enrich your life and get a better one for your entire family. The Eating Corporation. Building a better tomorrow today. Come see us at Twin Stadium tonight at the game between the Twins and the Braves, and when you apply, get free tickets. First 1,000 fans who apply or until tickets are depleted. The game starts at 6 p.m. this evening. You can submit applications starting at 4 p.m.
Alright, folks, we've made the decision that we are going to continue to cover a developing story. I have now received a bulletin from an unknown branch of the United States Department of Defense. The message reads, "The Department of Defense has been in coordination with the United Kingdom and the Japanese to investigate on the situation which was reported earlier this morning in the Soviet Union. They have determined that the Soviet Union has been attacked, and that the circumstances of this attack are quite unusual. They report that there is a massive object that has crashed into the Kremlin, and at this time all military and personnel inside of the Kremlin, upon investigation of the United States, Japanese, Chinese, and British military personnel, has been terminated. We repeat, it has been confirmed that a massive object of unknown origin has crashed and lodged inside of the Kremlin, and all personnel within the Kremlin and the surrounding area has been
Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I wake up in the morning and I wonder why everything's the same as it was. I can't understand, no I can't understand how life goes on the way it does. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!